Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, January 5th, which is the first Sunday of 2025. So today I would like to talk about a topic that actually was presented to me on Friday by my youngest daughter, who's 7 years old. So a friend of mine, first, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, a friend of mine, a very good friend of mine, Shalini, who's in my tribe group, has suggested a few other topics that I actually really liked, and I will touch upon them soon. But this one actually just jumped out at me at a volunteer event that I was for my 7-year-old. So my 7-year-old is a first grader at her elementary school, and they have different activities, different days, or specials as they call them. So Fridays are her library specials. So I try to go at least once a month, if possible, to volunteer for a library special. She enjoys seeing me. I used to do it for my other two children, and they enjoyed it as well. My nephew's actually in her class as well, so it's cute to see him. So I go, and it's only, 50 minutes that I'm there, or 40 minutes. But I read a book to them, and then I get to spend some time with them during that library time. So I was there on Friday, and my daughter, she has a few friends in the class, and she got together with a few friends, and they got these dominoes. They were trying to make shapes out of it and whatnot. As they were walking, they took the container of dominoes, they walked over to a table. Once they got to a table, my nephew was walking over with another set of, I don't know if it was magnets or some type of Lego looking pieces in a smaller box, but the box opened and the pieces fell on the ground. So my daughter immediately, along with 2 or 3 other of the classmates, came over to help him without being prompted. They saw what happened and they immediately came over. The library teacher also actually got down on the floor and started helping him clean it up. So as they're all helping, the library teacher said it's okay, because she could see that my nephew got like a little sad or maybe shy, and she said it's okay, no one got hurt, no one's bleeding, no one's crying, like it's fine, we'll clean it up. Then my daughter asked my nephew, did you fall? Did you trip? Like, what happened? And he didn't say anything. And then I said, I think the lid just like popped off or came off or slid off. And the teacher even commented, yeah, this is a cheap like little container, so look at the lid. And she just like made that comment that it was cheap, it just popped open, and that's how it fell. So that occurred. They picked it up afterwards. I said, good job, nice job, guys, helping your classmate. And I said to him, I know my nephew was a little shy and maybe embarrassed, and I said, you could say thank you to your friends for helping you. He said thank you, and my daughter said, he said thank you, Mom. So anyway, that occurred. Then we went over to her table where she was playing with the dominoes, and they decided they were gonna make I guess they were gonna line them up and then have the domino effect, so then all the dominoes fall. That wasn't working. Then they decided they were gonna make a heart. They were separating the dominoes, but throughout the whole process, I'm observing them. I just sit down and I'm observing them, and I see my daughter kind of like taking charge. She's like, okay, let's separate these, let's do this, that's not working. And I just thought, wow, she's a little bossy, like she's trying to take charge. But as she's taking charge and as she's saying, let's do this, let's do that, when mistakes happen or someone put one of the dominoes in the wrong pile because of the color, and they said, oh, I made a mistake, I dropped it by mistake, I'm sorry. And my daughter kept saying, it's okay, it's not a problem, don't worry about it, it's okay, we can try again, we can fix it again. And I just thought, wow, like they're so patient. They were so calm. They were so patient. They were so caring to each other. One of the girls, she kept apologizing, like, I'm sorry I dropped it. I'm sorry I made a mistake. And my daughter kept saying to her, it's okay. It's all right. Don't worry about it. We'll try again. We'll pick it up. So it was very sweet to see how they got along. In the beginning, I was kind of taken back, like, oh, she wants to be bossy. She wants to tell them what to do. She wants to take charge. And I didn't say anything. I was just observing the entire time. But then I also did like her compassion, her positive attitude, because she wasn't negative. She wasn't rude. She wasn't mean. Even when she was saying, like, okay, you take that pile, you take this pile, she wasn't mean, and she wasn't rude, like, or demanding, like, you do this, like, I'm telling you what to do. And it seemed like they are used to this. This is how they function, or how they normally get along. So it was nice to see that. Then they decided to count how many each of them had. So as they're counting, one of them is counting out loud, and my daughter goes, can you, like, count in your head, because it's distracting me. Then the other girl goes, oh, I'm done. I have this amount. And my daughter said, okay, good. Like, remember that number. Let me count. And my daughter, like, started about 2 or 3 times to count because she kept getting distracted. But at no point did she get upset. Did she get aggravated? Did she get pissed off that, she kept getting interrupted? And I thought, wow, she has so much patience. And I just thought, I don't have that much patience. I know sometimes I would flip over any little thing, or getting interrupted, or, something like that. And not to say that my daughter's always patient like this, because I've seen her get aggravated and get upset. But I was just in awe of how they were getting along, and how patient they were, and how sweet they were to each other. And I think I just never really sat down and listened and noticed during the other volunteer days that I went, because I did go in October, November, and December. So 3 other times I had gone. And when I think back, they did play nicely. They did get along, but I wasn't listening or focusing on what was happening as much as I was on Friday. And I think it's because it also stuck out at me. It was just so significant. And one thing I have noticed about myself is I've been trying to be more patient with my kids, just in general, at work, with my coworkers, at home, with my other, with my kids, obviously, with my husband, with my parents, with my siblings, just with everyone. I'm just trying to be more patient, calmer, kind of step back, think before I speak. And I don't know if that influenced it, or maybe that's why I'm paying more attention to what others are doing. But it was very, very pleasant. And it's funny because one time during my library visits, I did take a picture of another boy in the class and sent it to his mom, who I'm friends with as well. And the boy and my nephew, who are very good friends. And I even mentioned to the mom, I said, hey, I was volunteering, and during the library session, your son was very respectful, polite. He raised his hand. He never spoke, out of turn. And I said I was very impressed. He's a very respectful, nice boy. And I remember I said it to my daughter. I said, you know what? So-and-so was so polite. He raised his hand. He was very respectful. And she said, yeah, he's like that. Like she knew he was like that. And I know during back to school night, the teacher did mention what a nice group of kids these are. They're very respectful, very polite. And obviously we have those kids that would just call out or not raise their hands, or, we had that. So that stuck out at me about that young little boy that time. And I shared it with his mom. So just these little things that I noticed, and noticing it about my daughter, other kids in the class, her group of friends, it just, I guess, made me realize that this is something that starts from when they're younger. If I yell at my daughter, I'm consistently like on my toes or upset, this could be something that she learns, and she may deviate from being this patient, kind, supportive, and in a way, leader, because she was a leader. I don't want that to change in her because of something that I may do, to drive her out of that personality or those traits and character traits that she has that were so nice to see. One of the teachers that is there with her a lot, she did mention to me how sweet my daughter is, how nice. And at one point I said to her, I'm like, she's very bossy. And she said, no, she's not. She's very nice. She's good with them. So I guess I had a perception of it. But then as the day went on and I did see how they were socializing with each other, I realized that it was nice. She was not being bossy, but she does like to be a leader and a boss. But I did appreciate the manner in which she handled it. So again, I'm going over, like I said last time, I'm going to try to make these a little longer, about 15 minutes. So I just wanted to mention that because I am going over the 10-minute mark. So that is something I wanted to share. I know it kind of ties into one of my other topics, which was about patience, but this kind of covers a few topics that I've discussed. So patience, kindness, giving yourself grace and giving it to others, because my daughter was giving grace to others and it was sweet. But at the same time, she was assertive and she was a leader. And also, she was caring and she was trying to find things out. Even when she said to my son, to my nephew, did you fall? Did you trip? Like, what happened? At first, I was like, why are you calling him out? Like, what are you doing? But in reality, she was really just trying to find out what happened. Like, how did this happen? How did these fall? And just the teacher stepping in and saying, yeah, and me saying, well, I think the top just open, and the teacher putting in, her sense, oh, it seems like this is a cheap container. Just like helping the situation out, and also giving some reasoning to my daughter of why it happened, and helping my nephew, which we could see he was a little shy about the situation. So anyway, my point of the story is how us as parents influence our kids so dramatically. And I've always known that, and I've always thought of that, of how my actions are things that my kids will follow opposed to what I tell them to do. But here, watching my daughter in action and watching what she was doing and interpreting it in so many different ways at one moment, and getting some clarity even from the other teacher that sees her for the time span that she's in school, gave me an eye-opening experience to, all right, so you are doing a good job. Because a lot of times, I put myself down as I'm a horrible mom, I'm a horrible parent, I'm giving them these bad, examples by losing my temper, by yelling, by being upset. But I'm doing my best. I'm trying. And I think they see it and just embracing it. I know that today I want to sit down and talk to her and tell her how proud I am from what I saw. I wanted to kind of process it first and talk it through. And then I do want to let her know how impressed and proud I am from watching how she handled a few different situations that occurred there. I think she handled it better than I would have. So let's try to just observe our kids a little more. We learn so much from them, and sometimes it's right in front of us and we don't see it because our mind is so distracted. So let's just take the time to watch and listen and learn from them. So thank you for listening. Let's make this a productive one and a productive first Sunday of 2025. All right. Look forward to talking to you next time, and have an amazing day. Bye-bye.